Good afternoon, everyone. How we all doing? Um, here's we got another game review coming up, and this one's for NHL 10 for PlayStation 3, made by EA Sports. Now, it should come as no surprise to anybody that's ever watched the PlayStation 2 collection video I did, where I showed that most of my EA Sports games that I own now are the NHL games. So, how does this game do compared to some of their earlier games? Well, obviously, you think it's much better, and it is. I do have a slight beef with it, and we'll get to that in a second. First off, the way this game starts is they ask you to create your pro first. Yeah, you don't go and do that when you click create a pro, be a pro. That is the first thing they ask you to do, and they ask you for basic info. You know, uh, first name, last name, and what your hand is. They will not actually let you choose your country or your city right out of the box. They also pretty much choose your appearance, which kind of blows, but what do you want to do? The Be a Pro mode is going to be one of the focal points of the review because it's honestly the one I've spent the most time on. Season mode is what you expect. An 82 game season, which they can click over into a dynasty. They also have Be a GM mode, which I have not gotten into. I might do an update review on the game once I've actually tried that out a little bit. Be a Pro is where you take either your creative player or an NHL player, and you guide him through an NHL season. NHL career. Do really good, and you'll stay up with the big club, and you could become hopefully an NHL Hall of Famer. Do really bad, and well, you're going back. You're going to the AHL, kid. I did well enough in the prospecting. Oh yeah, that's one other thing. When you start your Be a Pro career, they start you playing in the prospects game between the World Prospects and the North American Juniors. Now my character played on the NAJ, North American Juniors. He did so well that he was picked third by the Detroit Red Wings, which, by the way, for anybody that knows, my two NHL teams are the New Jersey Devils and Toronto Maple Leafs. So this is kind of awkward. I play on the third line, and my rating currently is 75. When you actually are playing in the Be a Pro, you can only control your pro. That's it. Do you remember like Madden 06 when they did the NFL Superstar mode? Yeah, you could control the whole team. You didn't just have to worry about your guy. As it evolved, it became just you worrying about your player, and they jacked up the difficulty to something so disgusting that it should be illegal. In the NHL 2K, they let you set the difficulty to whatever you choose. But you're only allowed to control your player. When he's not on the ice, you watch first person from the bench and the camera swings back and forth. One thing you will notice is that um, the score overlay, which will be up over, up over here. My bad, I can't point straight today. But yeah, it'll be up over here. Will tend to fade in and out. Now this can happen while you're on the ice or while the camera swings back and forth while you're either on the bench or the penalty box. Another thing I have noticed is that the computer, when you're on the ice and your teammates, tends to, for whatever reason, not pass you the puck that much. Which is kind of odd because considering the fact that you have expectations that must be met by the end of the season or even during the season, that kind of screws with you. Now, this game has a shot mechanic system, which is one of the most bizarre I've ever seen in my life. The left stick moves your character. The right stick can be used to shoot the puck, and it can be used as a wrist shot or a slap shot. To do a wrist shot, you flick the right stick forward. To do a slap shot, you do it as if you were doing a Madden or football kick when you go back, then forward. You can also deke, use moving a stick left or right. Basically, they made it so that you almost need a PhD to understand the controls. Fortunately, for those of us that think those controls actually suck, they actually have the NHL 94 control scheme. And you're only going to use two buttons, a shot and a pass. Which, for those of us that have the PlayStation 3 version, you'll be using the X and the circle. If you're playing the Xbox 360, you're probably using the A and B buttons, and if you're playing on a Nintendo Wii, then you got me. I have no clue. The commentary is done by Billy Clement and Gary Thorne, which is kind of interesting considering that Bill Clement works for Versus, and Gary Thorne I don't think I've seen do a hockey broadcast in God knows how long. I've seen Jim Houston, I've seen Craig Simpson, I heard Bob Cole, and I've heard Gary Galley. But I haven't heard Gary Thorne or Billy Clement lately. Interesting. Doesn't like Billy Clement do the studio show on Versus now? Anywho, that's beside the point. A lot of the commentary is repetitive, which can be kind of expected. The grading system is kind of weird. And I do mean weird. If you score basically one goal, you can go from a C+ in stats to an A. I couldn't really tell you how you get your position score up because even I don't understand that, how they're grading that. But the team play can go to A+ really quick. I'm probably going to do go a little bit more in depth on some things here in a second. So yes, this is a two-part review. Stick around.